Hey everybody, how's it going? Chris Hernandez here, back with another one. In today's video, what I want to cover specifically is the importance of having one offer that you can apply to prospects in your market across the board, right? So if you don't know who I am, I actually run a digital ad agency. We specifically help Ecom brand owners, roughly doing 5 to 10K a month. We help them scale to 6 to 7 figures per month using paid traffic, right? So just in my experience alone, hopping on numerous amounts of sales calls with different Ecom brand owners at different levels of the market, something that I've noticed as far as problems and dealing with the market, right? A lot of Ecom brand owners tend to pay a large sum of money to ad agencies because ultimately these problems may vary, but generally across the board, this is what hits home to the market, and that is basically ecom brand owners are too busy focused on the back end, right? They have to find out the supplier, they got to figure out shipping times, they got to figure out logistics and everything on the back end side of things, right? So they don't really have the time nor the commitment to then worry about paid traffic, right? Because ads in itself takes a lot of time if you don't know what you're doing, right? So they rather just invest into the expertise in the market because it takes a lot of knowledge in order to market a product properly in order to generate sales, right? So they rather just lay off and pay for the expertise in order for them to get their store up and running and getting their ads scalable, right? Another problem could be, of course, like I said, knowledge. They lack knowledge in paid traffic and the expertise in specifically on any ad platform. Could be as well, they just want to scale as quick as possible. They just don't know what they're doing, right? Like I said, lack of knowledge. So these just vary, but across the board, right, these are typically the problems that you see in ecom, right? So for me and my business, we have a 4-pillar process offer that on any sales call, right? Generally, this is what my offer looks like across the board, client to client, right? And in the market, we're touching on 4 important processes to go from wherever the client is at to the goal they want to hit, right? And generally, that's by breaking it down into, okay, before we run ads, we do an audit, and then we go into, all right, we have a tailored ad strategy. This is what we look for. This is how we set up our campaigns. This is the funnel process we follow. And then we have a process that we use to retarget people who didn't purchase. Also, we also have a creative process where we help the clients deal with the creative part, right? Shooting content that is actually scalable, right? So we've developed a 4-pillar process, right? And having this specific offer, we're not like beginner ad agency owners who want to offer email marketing, Google SEO, Facebook, and all that, right? No, it's so important to have one specific platform that you focus on and having one specific offer, because not only is all your focus is going to be on that specific offer, but ultimately you're going to become the best at doing what you're doing with one specific offer, right? When you're only, let's say your specific offer is paid traffic, Facebook ads, that's the only thing you need to be an expert in, right? And you can allocate so much more time than email marketing, balancing that with Google, Facebook, setting all this up, right? It takes a lot of load. It's a lot of load management. It's very unnecessary work when you can just charge, if not, you can actually charge way more with just one offer, right? Instead of trying to balance 4 or 5 different offers, right? So in retrospect, the longevity of this, right? The process is scalable when you have an offer, and that offer should be split up into like a 4-pillar process, right? Basically breaking down the pains of your market and solutions to that across the board. Generally, right, on a sales call, the way I like to pre-phrase it, right, I'm asking questions, and on those questions, based on the answers the prospect responds with, I can use that information to then, when it's time to close the deal and it's time for me to give out the specific offer, how we're able to scale ecom brands, right? I can adjust it as well to their specific needs, which is why it's super important, because basically the offer is just a framework, and to a T you have what your agency does specifically, right? So then if a client says, oh, I don't need the content side of things, I just need this specific area, you can add that a part of the offer, right? You can substitute it, you can switch it out, but you basically you can have it tailored to the client to then when it's time for you to give the price, you get a tie down, you say, is this what you need? They say, yeah, this is exactly what I need. You give the price, boom. They have no they don't have issues giving you the money now because you broke that barrier, and you're able to get them to trust you because you had an offer that was visually what they needed and custom to them, right? So with that being said, it's super important for you guys, especially in the agency game, having an offer that connects with your audience. And over time, as you take on more and more sales calls, you're going to understand the market. You're going to see what is seen across the board from client to client. People doing 5 to 10K, their problems are very similar. And then people doing 100K to 200K, right? Those bigger budgets, right? Problems are a little different, a little bit more complex. But generally, when it comes to the idea that the reason why ecom brand owners pay for agency owners, right, is because ultimately they want to see profit in their ads, and they're paying for the expertise. So if you're able to have a solid offer, having a team that can deliver results, there's no problem scaling to over 6 figures per month for your agency, right? It just takes a lot of time to develop systems and processes, and the main focus, right, when you're starting out is putting the client first, right? If you're able to put the client first, everything comes second nature, right? The money, the specific client referrals, the retainers, the big retainers, right? It all comes second nature when you put the client first and you build that retention, because it's so much easier for you to scale when you're able to have a client retention rate of like 6 months minimum, right? If you sign clients on for a minimum of 6 months, I mean, it's so much easier for you to scale, because then you have reliable clients and you know that it's somewhat guaranteed, right, for that 6-month retainer. And then the clients are more willing to stick with you longer even after that 6-month deal, because you're almost building a partnership, right? So it's super important for you guys to understand this, and having a solid team is going to expedite the process of you getting results, right? And I want to touch on this a little bit, taking care of your team. I think it's super important for, as entrepreneurs, right, to invest and to take care of your team, especially pay them. I pay my team really well, and the reason why I do that is because they get results, right? And I'm willing to invest into my team, even if I need to take, like, let's say a specific pay cut when it comes to the deal or whatever. I'll do that when it's necessary, because ultimately, right, my team is getting the results for the clients, and they're taking care of the headaches on my end, right? If I didn't have a team that didn't deliver results, right, the life of an agency owner would be somewhat stressful, and it'd be a nightmare, because then I have to deal with running the ad accounts myself, setting up everything across the board, right? So having a proper team and having a team that can deliver takes somewhat of an investment, but it's totally worth it on the back end when you're able to close deals, right, 6-month deals, and then you can confidently scale that client's brand like you said you were on the sales call, right? So just a shift in perspective. I also believe in like business karma as well. So I'm always the first to suggest better alternatives for my team as well. And then ultimately, I value chemistry, and I value just the relationship that my team and I have built together and the clients we've worked with in the past. So of course, I'm willing to make that investment into my team because I know it's going to help the business altogether, and ultimately, it's just going to improve the client experience, right? Which is super important in this day and age. And so if you're able to shift your focus onto the client experience, like I said, everything will just become second nature. And of course, having that specific offer is going to allow you to scale way more, and it's going to give you a better framework when it's time for you to hop on a sales call. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. More content coming soon. And other than that, that's really all I have for you guys. So if you want me to cover a specific topic, comment that down below. I can shoot a video on it. And yeah.